Welcome everyone to this is going to be an awesome episode. I can already tell. I'm actually kind of stoked for this episode. We're going to be
Ooh,
looking over the new Sleep Token album.
yeah.
Um, and Huxley, I know this is one of those instances where I'm scared. You know, where I'm scared I'm going to mess
You
up on
should be.
something,
You should be
or
scared.
like I'm.
That's all I'm saying.
Thanks. I look, listen, I have listened to this album almost 20 times already. I've listened to this album quite a
Amateur
bit.
numbers.
And yeah, for me, but coming from a non-Sleep Token fan, I think that quite
It
impressive.
is impressive. Yeah.
And I think at the first listen, my first initial thoughts going into this when listening to even in Arcadia, as the album is called,
Yeah.
as soon as like I got my first listen through, I wasn't too stoked, right?
Mm.
So I felt a little underwhelmed. But the
Okay.
more I listened to it, the more I kind of like came to terms with that kind of deal.
Mm.
It was more of just like this is how it's supposed to be, and I'll get more into it later on as
Okay.
we go through the songs. But you'll kind of see how like my opinion has changed
Yeah.
through how like of what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So I
That's
think
fine.
that since this is your band, why don't you start us on and look to Windward, the first the opening track. What was it for you for this one, man?
So, yes, on my first listen to this, and generally to the album, I was obviously very excited about hearing it, given that it's like the first real proper album, music that we've had for a good couple of years now. So, my expectations were quite high going into it, which I really wish I'd have taken a like you normally always say go in with low expectations and then you can never really be
Yes,
like
always.
upset by it. But given, as you've said, how much I love this band, I already had high expectations. So full first listen, this opening the album, it was a great listen for me, the first one. I was very sort of taken that first intro part that's sort of like the 8-bit music almost. That kind of led me in just
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
away. And as like Vessel is well known for like being a gaming nerd, and there's like references in other songs that he's used that obviously like we had the character, like the avatar characters from Take Me Back to Eden as well. And I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a hilarious clip on like YouTube and Twitter where Vessel, in the part of the summoning where there is no singing and it's leading up to the guitar part, it kind of somebody comes on stage holding a Nintendo Switch, and then he like helps the guy
Yeah,
finish the level. And then like once that part's done, he kind of like
that's
goes off,
funny.
and then he comes back in to sing. So yeah, we already know that Vessel's a gaming nerd, and this for me, yeah, the opening to Look to Windward just gave that shout out, which, like I say, immediately led me in. But I must admit, knowing the singles that had already came out, I was kind of hoping that it wasn't going to be too personal, because we'd already had that in the three. So I was kind of like
Yeah.
hoping myself that like other songs on the album would kind of call back maybe to the law. But as we'll probably get into, I did feel like the entire album is like this sort of Vessel's at a crossroads and he's not really sure where to go. And that's kind of how this song opens with, "Will you listen just as my form starts to fission?" Which I've since learned fission is kind of like a breaking. Is that right?
Yeah, so fission is a scientific term. This is
Yeah.
where my physics loves comes
Yeah, I
in.
thought you might be
So
able to fill me
fission,
in.
yeah. So fission is, breaking apart.
Yeah.
Fission is like fusion is collecting, fission is outward.
Okay.
So what I think that this means is that yeah, will you listen as my form starts to vision? What I was kind of getting from that, and I was like doing my research about these songs
Hmm.
because I had to make you proud,
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I it was more of just like I think that Vessel and Sleep are being like destroyed. They're being like torn apart.
Hmm.
Like I feel like Vessel's becoming like his own kind of deal without Sleep. Like
Okay.
he's becoming like his own deity kind of deal. And
Interesting.
and he says maybe, and it's interesting because in my notes, which I have 5 pages of notes here, so
Well
it
done.
even says it says maybe he's still resisting change, trying to hold on to vessels still, like he's trying to hold on to himself
Mm,
still,
yeah.
trying to like make sure that he's not losing himself in like the fame that Sleep Token has
Yeah. Yeah.
accumulated over the past couple of years.
Mm,
And there's another part in there that I was interesting to me. It says, "Will you halt this eclipse in me?"
mm,
Yes, it does repeat this a lot in here.
yeah.
So it as sleep, I don't like that. That's like one of the main things.
Not
But
even
we'll
to
get to that.
build. Not even to build the kind of
It's look,
what the
listen.
song goes
He says
into.
it. Look, he says that 4 times here, 4 times here, one, two, three,
6.
four, five, 6 times here. And then I think he closes it with the two, yeah, and then 7 times in there.
See, so it's
So in this
building,
whole thing,
building.
yeah, building
He's
to
fighting.
what,
He's
Huxley?
fighting with himself because I read the
Anyways,
will you halt the eclipse in me is like he's changing, but he's not. He doesn't want to change. That's why he's asking if you'll halt the eclipse. With the eclipse being
so
like a
what I
new
think,
moon.
so hold on, because that's like a darkness overtaking the light kind of deal.
Yeah,
So like an eclipse is blocking out the light of the sun.
yeah,
So I think that was kind of what that was. I mean, it's like a struggle of darkness, depression, grief, rage, and or loss of hope.
mm,
It is good still left afterwards. After this happens, will there still be good left in me?
yeah,
And that's kind of like where I got with that one.
mm.
And then there was a Sisyphus metaphor in here when he says pushing up boulders. It
Oh,
said,
okay, yeah,
pushing up daisies, he's pushing up boulders.
yeah,
And Sisyphus was the guy that was uh he was tortured to push a boulder up a hill over
mm,
and over for it to always go back down to the bottom to do it over again for eternity.
yeah,
So I think that instead of him, he's like, instead of pushing up Daisy, I'm pushing up boulders. I'm just on this like endless cycle
yeah,
of going through these eclipses and going through this separations of who I really am.
yeah,
And that's kind of like what I get from this. And then I really love the God of the Gaps line in
mm,
here. There's a God of the Gaps, Demon of Sodom.
yeah,
So God of the Gaps is a fallacy in like Christian terms, whereas like I don't know how this happened, so God did it. So
mm.
basically, that's the God of the gaps. There's a gap in your knowledge
Ah,
of
okay,
how this happens, and so I
interesting.
think that he says I am the God of the gaps. I
Mm,
am that knowledge. I am
yeah,
I am that guy.
yeah.
And I really thought that was a really cool line. That I think is
Oh, that's
somewhere
really yeah interesting. Is
down
that
down here, and I thought that was really cool. There's just so many cool little lines in here that was really cool.
yeah.
And it says you'll find this one. You'll find me with half a mind to get violent. Oh, it isn't over till I say it's over. And oh, my little angel sitting on my shoulder. So give me the edge of a blade and a time and a place.
Mm,
Like, bro, this guy's ready to go to war. He's ready and it's not really that he's like going to get violent with anyone else. It seems like he's getting violent with himself,
yeah, yeah. I
like
think
in
that
a
too.
way.
Yeah,
Like I think that's what's going. And he says, and I'll leave him cold pushing up boulders.
mm,
Like he's leaving them to push up the boulders,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Like this was such a really cool opening song
Mm,
to like the lore of the band. There's so many callbacks to their older albums,
yeah. A
especially
lot.
Eden.
Mm,
Their Eden album,
I don't-
their Eden album
yeah,
was like here, like even in this Garden of Gardens, I am the God of the Gaps.
yeah.
So the Garden of Gardens we could be talking about like the Garden of Eden,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the Eden album.
Yeah.
So there was like a lot of cool callbacks here, and I love this line right here: "Drowning and burning, bright abyss, even at a stratospheric depths.
Yeah.
This vertigo is bliss. This vertigo is bliss." I
Mm,
love those lines, man.
yeah.
There's some really good lines in here. It wasn't even really the music for me at this point. After listening so many different times, it wasn't
That's
even the lyrics
that.
anymore. It
That's
was
the
it was
point
the
that I
lyrics
want.
for
Yeah,
me.
that's the point that I wanted you to get to because I knew from that first listen that you will have heard, you'd have listened to the songs, but not necessarily heard the message, or obviously the lyrics were not out immediately, so we had to wait a little bit for that.
Yeah.
But one of the part that I love in this song here is this bit that you've got up when it kind of cuts out completely after this vertigo of bliss, and he sings, "Oh, and I used to know myself,"
Yeah.
and it's like the gospel choir just comes in. It's like he's broken through,
Yeah. That
and
was
it's
really
like,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, it just sounds like a
And the
full-on
music
choir.
picks up at that point too.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that part. Very good part of producing for that for
I
me.
did really like this one. I think this was a good opening track.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not gonna say what my solid or platinum choices is for this album until later.
Okay.
But I don't think that you'll be able to guess what my favorite songs are
No, I
gonna be
think
on here.
no. Will you be able to guess mine? I don't
I
know.
don't think I don't know. I mean, like, I think the longer that we talk about it, I think I might get there.
Oh, okay, yeah, you might get some clues. Yeah,
Hey,
that's
and
fine.
look, I wore my worship shirt today, but
I
I'm
love that.
worshiping coffee, not
I love
sleep
that.
cooking. So, so we're gonna move on to the next one.
Okay.
This is Emergence. This was one of the ones that we reacted to, but it got flagged.
Yeah.
Like super
Blocked.
hardcore. It didn't even have a
Completely blocked.
chance.
Yeah.
Completely blocked. We
Yeah.
couldn't like there was no way this was getting out. Um Fun fact about this one, because this one had a saxophone in it.
Yes.
That's Gabby Rose
Yes.
from Bill Murray.
Yes.
That was the fact that I have for this. I
I
looked
love
that
that.
up and I was like, oh, it's Gabby Rose from Bill Murray.
Yeah, that is
I was like,
awesome.
that's actually really cool because they were touring together,
Yeah, yeah.
and he just really loved the saxophone, I guess, and was like, hey, can you come do this for
Please come
us?
in and play on this
And
track.
she
That's
did
yeah,
it.
it's great, isn't it?
Give me more saxophone in my music, bro. I really
Yes.
absolutely love it.
Yeah, I'm partial to that.
Now, so the arms around me part, because he does that quite a bit in here,
Hmm.
but I think that he's talking to sleep at this point. Like he's like,
Okay.
begging sleep to hold him, like in a way. He's more like it's like I said, I've got notes, so
Mhm.
and then he says the other ones. So one of the other lines that I liked was let's see if I can find it here. Oh my god. I hate not listening to the song,
I
and I
know.
know that you can't do it.
I know.
But anyways, so the song right here, it says, "I got solar flares for your dead gods, space dust for your fuel rods."
Yeah.
Absolutely love that line.
Hmm.
That was it's
Very
because
you
it's like
line.
so very me line. It's such a space related,
Yeah.
but it's funny because when he talks about that, it's like, "I got solar flares for your dead gods, space dust for your fuel rods." What I think that that's kind of talking about in a way was more of like a difference in like technology kind of deal. Like, I so you got the solar flares or whatever. I got these fuel rods. I'm ready to fucking
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Like there's a huge difference between you and I,
Yeah.
and I feel like he's like ascending in a way, or he's becoming ascended, and
Emerging, if you will.
uh emergent, yeah, an emergent, yeah. So, and then there was
Yeah.
the depths of hellfire
Hmm.
line that was in here. That I think maybe it was a reference to Dante's Inferno kind of deal, where he
Oh,
was
good
talking
shout.
about
Yeah.
like the Divine Comedy kind of deal,
Mm.
because he goes into the depths of hellfire. I even went so far
Mm.
as saying, is even in Arcadia a reference to Dante's Inferno, just for like the nine layers of hell kind of deal? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
with the Aquatic album, or
Yeah.
This Will Be Your Tomb,
Hmm.
that was like, I had a whole nautical theme to it. I was like, okay, there's got to be a theme here. So
Yeah.
I thought it was maybe being like a Dante's Inferno one, but half and half.
Yeah. I've
There's
got
a
my
thin
thoughts
there,
on Arcadia,
yeah, because there's like
which
a
I'll
half and
hold on
half
to.
on that one,
Yeah. Still a good
and
theory though, because
an
all of this is open to interpretation. Because we're
interpretation.
probably never going to get the real answer. So it's like, yeah, it's whatever you can kind of pull upon and whatever you think your theories are.
And I really like this line too. It's midnight in my mind's eye, drowning out the daylight.
Yeah.
And Godspeed to my enemies who've been asking for the call sign. Like, give
Mm.
me that call sign, baby. I'm ready to fucking come fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, man, it was like I said, like the longer I listened to this album, the more I got into the lyrics, and the more it became more of like, this is poetry in
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah. It's art.
Like
I see it as art.
it's very art and it's
Mm.
very art like. He's a great writer.
Yeah,
And
he
it's
is.
and like oh, and there was another one was living past your half life, which is a physics joke, by the way, because
Oh,
half
okay.
life is how radioactive materials are aged. They live in half lives. So, like, say there's
Oh,
some
okay.
uranium or some radiation, they have like a 500 million half life, which
Right.
means half of their protons and stuff will be decayed over that 500
Mm.
million years or 5 million years, whatever.
Yeah.
But a half life is like, say for me, my half life would be like, say I live to 70, my half life would be 35 years.
Yeah.
So I have a
Okay.
35-year, like, so there's like a, and then
It's
I put a
interesting.
yes science joke in there. I was like, well, I just like, because there's so many different like science jokes in here,
Yeah.
but there's a lot
He's
of
a full
like
nerd.
glory to the Legion, trauma for my neighbors.
Mm.
Like I thought that was a really cool line too.
Yeah.
It's like trauma, like y'all guys are about to be fucked up. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
who like whoever fucked with them, bro, you fucked with the wrong guy.
Who
Like
hurt
they
you?
and
Literally,
how
who
he's
hurt you?
coming. Who hurt you, bro? Who hurt you, bro? We'll get there later. We will get there later. I have
Yeah.
that joke written down.
Oh, okay.
I have that one written
Yeah, I think
down.
I know what that might be
But
for.
what
But
did you think about the song, man?
so yeah, obviously this was like the first track that was released off the album. So all brand new. Obviously, as everybody was dying for new music as well, it kind of hit immediately when I heard it. I really enjoyed obviously, again, as I'd said, like the lyrics at the time were not available, but you really can listen and make them out as you heard it. My fun fact for this song actually is the woo part. You know that part
Yeah.
where it goes like
Hmm.
woo. That's not actually Vessel
Yeah.
singing that, which is a little bit upsetting. I think it's actually like
Really
it's like a Pro Tools plugin thing. Because there was some guy on TikTok who was like
interesting.
going through like making his own songs, and he just downloaded a plugin pack and then found like you know a,
Yeah, the ha woo right
yeah
here.
that
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. I see
So
it.
he,
Yeah,
he he found some like plugin
that's cool.
sounds
I
or
didn't even know
something, and
that.
so it's literally just like a sort of generic Pro Tools sound gadget or whatever. I don't know what you call it, but one that you could just download so anybody could use it. I just find that hilarious because I kind of had it in my head of Vessel trying to hit the right woo in the studio singing along. But yeah, anyway, the the kind of the emergence message I feel anyway, open to interpretation of course, is so he's already kind of introduced in the first track that he's at a kind of crossroads. And I almost see
Hmm.
emergence as like the man behind the mask emerging a little bit and being like, we've sort of got
Gotcha.
to
Okay.
this point where we're at now, and it is time for me to emerge and almost sort of say my piece, because I think, being brutally honest, they've gotten to such heights and such fame and everything, in which Sleep did
So
promise.
quickly too.
Yeah, Sleep did promise him fortune and fame if he spread the word of Sleep originally, according to the law. So it's like he's gotten to this
Hmm.
point now, and he's kind of like, well, it's not really what you promised me. Like, I expected all this fame and fortune, which maybe I've got part of, but also there's these toxic fans that are trying to kind of go against what we're all about, and it's not really what I imagined it to be. That's kind of how I interpret this. But yeah, the music obviously is amazing. The
Oh, music's great.
sax is great at the end. I never really did expect that when we heard that the first time. It was just
I
like,
didn't either.
what? We've
Yeah,
unlocked a new part of Sleep Token, hearing
I
saxophone.
loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
But yeah, I mean, it fits in well with the album. Obviously, it sounded great as a single just by itself, but in the kind of format of the whole album, I think this works really, really well.
Moving on to past self.
Yes.
So this one was a interesting song for me.
Mm,
I actually really enjoyed this song a lot.
yeah.
My notes here for like the lines, and I deliberate on cutting out the demons. I still need a dark side. They just need a reason.
Mm,
I really love that line, man.
yeah, that's a
Like
good one.
this, I feel like this song is him reflecting on the past 3 albums that he's done,
Mm. Yeah.
and he's reflecting on, like, everything that the band has gone through
Mm.
and what it means to be, part of Sleep,
Yeah.
and right here it says, like, "Sometimes we don't want to heal from trauma because the pain is soothing and familiar. What Change and healing is new, unexpected, and uncertain. Sometimes to go forward, you have to go back.
Mm.
Sometimes to go forward,
Yeah.
you have to like look back on the things that have happened.
Yeah.
And that's mainly what I got from this one is like you can't truly heal until you confront your past self
Yeah.
and what you can do to move forward. And that's really what I
That's
get
an
from this song.
interesting line. I
Like
like that.
lyrics are yeah, I really just love this song.
Mm.
This song wasn't on absolute repeat, but this was definitely one that I went back to. I was like, okay, I got
Yeah.
to hear
Yeah.
this one again,
Yeah, I've
and
pretty
I
much been the
really
same
loved it.
as that as well. I remember hearing it first and not really clicking with it immediately, but then the
Yeah,
more I've kind of revisited the album, and this literally has been on repeat for a whole week now. So sorry for the Spotify rap show, which is just basically going to be this album.
hey man, that's me with the day to remember.
Yeah,
I feel that.
we'll probably both be able
But
to
there are,
call.
it's just like like torn apart by the true believers that turned out to be faithless. Like talking about the people that doxed them,
Yeah, yeah, right.
basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, like now that we're a little bit into this show, go fuck yourself. Like,
Mm,
why, man?
yeah,
Why
yeah.
can't you like privacy is meant to be that
Mm,
privacy? Why are you digging through someone's shit
I
that
know.
wants to be left alone?
Mm-hmm.
And he's trying to, and we'll get there later, like in
Yeah, yeah,
Caramel,
yeah.
and it's just
I
like,
know.
he's afraid to answer his front door. He's
Mm,
afraid to just go out in public now that
yeah, yeah.
people like that actually looked it up know who he is. I
Mm,
still don't know who he is because I don't care about that.
yeah,
I care about what kind of fucking music you're putting out
yeah,
and
yeah.
how glorious your music is.
Mm.
I don't like, I feel like I am a sleep token at this point. Like, for how many times that I've listened to them in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
album,
I love that.
and because if because if I go here, I'll even show you. So if we go to Sleep Token here,
Exclusive.
I have I have 40 songs liked by Sleep Token.
I am
Are you
seriously
surprised by
impressed.
that
I'm
number?
seriously impressed by that,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, that
That's
is good.
why it is so like I feel like I have embraced this album and I have like gone through great lengths to just
I think
and one
I'm
of them
almost
was
getting
not
the
looking up
feeling
their
of,
name.
like the A Day to Remember, where I said I had a moment where I felt like I had to like it. But when I actually just listened to it, I did like it. And I'm kind of getting a little bit of that from you as well.
That's where it's getting in from me right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from because I didn't expect to like this album as much as I thought I was going to because I was like, oh, this is just gonna be like another slog album to
After
get
that
through,
first message that you
and
sent me, where you were just like, "I've listened to this and the pacing is far too slow. I don't think I'm going to get on with it at all." I was like, "No, don't, no."
no. And now that I've listened to it way more times than I ever thought I was going to,
Yeah,
I felt myself listening to this album once or twice a day,
yeah, yeah.
and I absolutely love some of these songs too and
Mm,
what they mean. And now
I
that I've
love
done
that.
my research for these songs, there are I
Also
do have my
impressive.
criticisms. Don't get me wrong.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
of
I
course.
I do have my criticisms with some of his stuff, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that I'm not a fan.
No, no, yeah, I get that. I've got
So
for
so what did you get from Past Self, man?
so yeah, I definitely felt similar that he was kind of like you've said. In order to heal, he did have to like revisit himself. Obviously, when he goes with the line,
Yeah.
"Are you going to dance on the line with me?" I think that's kind of
Yep.
saying.
Yeah, right here.
I
Are
was,
you
I
gonna
was,
dance on the line
yeah, yeah,
with
that one.
me?
I was kind of imagining that as to be a kind of cliff edge where he's like, "Look, I'm literally at the end here. We can't get any further, but are you still going to be here with us? Are you still going to be here with me?" You've kind of, again, a shout to the toxic fans, basically. We've all kind of got at this point together. Is that it now? Are you just going to abandon me, or are you going to actually stay with me? Um, another pat. Yeah, if we just go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he said, yeah,
Little
you,
bit?
you mentioned it briefly there, where he says torn apart by the true believers that turned out to be faithless. I think that line
Yeah.
is literally
Mhm.
a perfect line. It's so subtly saying, you know, like we were all supposed to be in this together. We've told you our story. You were supposed to respect that, but there is a line that's been crossed there, and I don't appreciate that. I just love the fact that that's actually been put in there.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then I think,
and there, well, hold on. There was a, but nothing is the same as some things have to change now.
yeah, yeah,
Like I
it's
have
had
to change
enough.
on how I present myself. Like I've
Yeah,
had enough of this. Like things have to change,
yeah,
and I absolutely love this. This was a great song, man.
hmm yeah.
This
This
was like
was,
the first. This was the song. Like on my first couple listens, I got to this song, and this is where it kind of changed for me the way I kind
mm,
of looked at the album.
okay.
And
Was your
this was
turning
that
point.
I was like, okay, cool. This was my turning point in the album. After a few times of listens,
Yeah,
I got to the song. And I was like, oh, okay. I definitely really dig this song and what it means now.
yeah,
But that's all I got for that one, man.
yeah, yeah. Very, very good song. My fun
Um,
fact for you for that one, which I think I may have already messaged you
yeah,
about, but was the fact that the opening little like piano tinkly
yeah.
riff
It's like
thing
the
was from
Legend of
Zelda.
Zelda thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it is some sort of
I
sample
definitely
from that.
totally got that. I forgot to write that part down. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like too concentrated on like the lyrics. I didn't even write about the music or
yeah.
anything. Like I literally did. I have no music in here at all about any
It's just
comments about the
lyrics.
music. It's
Yeah,
all basically just lyrics here.
that's good.
We can move on to Dangerous. I don't have a lot for this one.
Okay.
Um, I didn't really dig this one too
Mm,
much. I felt like this was one of the first songs on the album. I was just like, why is this here? You know, why is this song important? And
yeah.
then I started looking it up, and from my opinion,
Mm,
I think this is a song about continuing the band and what that means for the future of Sleep Token. Like, do they want to continue as a band? And they literally just signed a 3 record deal with, I think, RCA,
yeah,
I
yeah,
think it is. So they just signed a 3 album deal, so there's more, but
yeah.
they wanted to stop after, the Eden album. They wanted to stop and just have it be complete. I think
Mm,
You was like the last song on the album.
yeah, yeah.
They wanted to end on that. That was like
Mm,
going to be the end. But then people wanted more.
of
If
course.
they got the fame.
Yeah.
So in this one, I feel like there there was a decision that had to be made by Vessel,
Yeah.
and he was like, okay, we need more music now. And this was kind of like another one where I'm sorry that if this isn't going to be what you think it's going to be every single time, I can't be perfect every single time for these
Mm,
albums.
yeah.
There's going to be fuck ups that I'm going to have.
Mm,
So that, like, this song, I feel like, and the first 4 songs, I feel like there's so much reflection going on within the not only Vessel and Sleep and just Vessel himself, but the
yeah.
band as well. When it comes to like the future
Interesting.
of the band, that's what I get from it.
So my take from this is that this is a song to the fans, and that he's saying that the fans are
Hmm.
dangerous.
I mean, I get that
That's kind of
too.
what I'm getting. So the lyrics where he says, "I wish I could have known that look in your eyes would echo in mine and go back." So that's kind of when he's like looking out from the
Yeah,
stage. Out of my mind, across the line. When was the last time I felt like this? It's like you're dangerous to me. I notice every time we meet, I feel the ground beneath my feet giving way. So it's kind of like,
yeah. No, I
again, it's
definitely get
exciting
that.
to be there on the stage, but then when he actually gets there and it kind of this anxiety just shrouds him again, and he's like, oh God, not again,
He's
not
like,
this.
people expect so much from me
Yeah,
too.
yeah, he just feels the stress. Then he says, you've got me talking in my sleep, which again is obviously, he's supposed to be at peace, I guess, at that point when he's going off to sleep. But again,
Yeah.
he's kind
Hmm.
of replaying all the things that have
He's
happened, the
playing it over and over
idiots
and
that are
over.
shouting out his name in the crowd and, whatever else, all that kind of thing. So you've got me talking in my sleep as if you're conquering my dreams. You've awakened what's beneath. So that part's quite interesting because it's like, is he saying you've awakened what's beneath the mask? And again, it kind of goes back to, well, I'm gonna have to make a point of this now, and that's kind of the whole, the whole reason behind the song. So he's basically saying that even though he's in this, even though he wanted to be here, which is the frontman of a successful band, the fans are, or some of the fans, let's say it's not every fan, is it? Some of the fans can be just seen as dangerous to him. So that
Mhm.
toxicity relationship is still ongoing.
I
That's my
totally
thoughts.
get like for you, I think our both of our points are valid
Mm.
here
Oh
for
yeah,
when it
yeah,
comes to, like because like you said, it's up to interpretation for both of us.
yeah.
And what I got was, it is dangerous for them, and they're also trying to like look out for the future of the band as well and
Mm.
how they're going to have to move forward.
Yeah.
Like he's like dancing on that line, it's like
Mm.
I don't know where to go from here. There's like decisions that have to be made. And then I love the ending lines. Won't you show me how to dance forever? I really loved the
What
ending
did
of
you
this
pull
song. I think
from
the
that?
ending of
Because
this
I'm kind
song.
of interested with that line generally. Because
So
that
for
was
me,
also that was also a line that they kept putting in their emails, like sending
yeah,
stuff
so
out.
the way that I interpret this one is like he's asking maybe sleep.
Mm.
This question is like, won't you show me how to dance forever? Let me keep living this life of like bliss kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I want to dance forever. I want to be at this. I want to be at peace forever.
yeah.
Can you show me how to do this? Can you dance with me in this intricate like
Mm.
way to where I can finally be at peace for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I get from it.
Interesting. I do also.
Hold on, I got a cat. I got a cat. I got a cat.
Oh, okay.
I got a cat.
What
All right,
what
Boise.
what I do find a little bit interesting about that is the fact that, like, the Instagram page, for example, for Sleep Token, like the kind of one line that they've used many times as well is "nothing lasts forever." But I just find it interesting that now he's kind of saying, "What, you show me how to dance forever?" Kind of a little bit of a play on.
Yeah, like he wants to continue. Like I said, like he wants to continue to do sleep token, but he just
Yeah.
doesn't know how.
Mm.
So he's asking for help.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Like, show me
Show
how to
me.
do this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, show me. And I think that that's what this song like
Mm.
really represents for the band.
Cry for help.
And then, I get to talk about Caramel first.
Yes.
What can I say about this song that I did not call a year ago when we did the sleep token? I called this shit because we had just found out when we did our sleep token episode, we had just found out that they had been docs.
Mm.
And I even said, I think somewhere in that episode, it's like,
You
whoever you
did.
are, go fuck yourself.
You did. Yeah.
And then it's like, I guarantee you he's gonna write a song about this.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Like this is the song to the people that doxed him.
Yeah.
But this is also a song to his fans that, don't go looking for his name.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't go like stick with me, stick to me like caramel.
Mm.
And I absolutely love that. Like here, and the rawness on the lyrics, you feel empathy for Vessel and what he's going through with the doxing.
Yeah.
This is an absolute repeat for me still,
Mm.
even after it being. I feel like they should not have released this song early.
Yeah, and just let it
I
be a
feel like that
surprise.
and just let it be a surprise. I
Yeah.
think that if this song was a surprise, I think that this would have been like the song that would have been on like repeat. I mean,
This is already a
it still
holy
kind of
shit
is on
moment,
repeat.
but it could have been a
It's
holier shit
already
moment,
yeah,
you
and
mean?
it could be a holier shit moment.
Yeah.
Um, but I love the lines where it gets slower towards the end. It says, um, "Too old to get bitter over it all. Too old to retaliate like before. Too blessed to be called ungrateful. I
Mm.
thought I got better, but maybe I didn't."
Yeah.
And I just man, you feel
So,
for
I
Vessel in
know.
here, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just I feel for him,
Mm.
and I'm sorry that he had to go through this. And it's just like
That's bullshit.
that's literally the only lyrics in this one that I really like,
Like,
kind of
feel. Actually feel.
felt.
Yeah.
I felt that,
Mm.
and I was like, man, like me too, man.
Yeah.
Like I am too young to get bitter over this, and I'm too old to retaliate like I could have before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's just how it has to be.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to that part of myself, and but and then he says, "Too blessed to be called ungrateful." Like, bro, we gave you what you wanted.
Yeah,
The
exactly. Yeah.
fans gave you what you wanted. You cannot be ungrateful for this. But
No,
it's
no.
like how like I feel ungrateful because it's just I feel like I don't deserve this with all the shit that's going on. And I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah.
like I didn't earn this,
Yeah.
and he feels ungrateful for it.
That wasn't
And then he
part of the
says, and
deal, was
that's
it? That's the thing.
No, it wasn't. And
Mm,
then he says, I thought I got better, but maybe I didn't. Like he kind of is like, oh, okay, maybe we're famous now. Okay,
mm.
I think I'm better now, but he really isn't. He's not
Yeah,
better
yeah.
from this.
He's
And
worse.
then now, but those are really the only lyrics I wrote down for the whole song. But I know that there's so many different lines in here that you're probably going to go through.
Just
Like
looking
with
now.
me,
Yes.
yeah, so like wear me out like Prada, devil in my detail.
Oh yeah,
Fucking love
yeah,
that line.
that's good at the
That's
start.
such a great song. But I says they asked me, is it going good in the garden? Say I'm lost, but I beg no pardon.
Mm.
I love that because he's talking about
Eden.
the Eden album out
Yeah, yeah.
again. And then I think that he's going, I'm lost, but I beg no pardon. I think that he's calling back to this will be your Tomb album. I think that he's calling back to this one.
Okay.
Like I'm lost at sea, I'm lost here,
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
deep, but I beg no pardon.
I get that.
Like like I said, there's so many different callbacks to different albums in
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
There was, and then he says, "Guess that's what I get for having 2020 hindsight. Like it's already happened,
Mm,
and now it's like, well, shit. I wish I could have done this, but now that I can't go back,
mm.
hindsight's 2020.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't take it
Always is.
back." And then he says, "Everybody wants eyes on them. I just want to hear you sing that top line." I love the way he says that line too.
Hmm.
And he's like
Yeah.
that top line,
Yeah,
goes
yeah, yeah. It
up.
goes higher, doesn't it? Yeah.
Just
Which again
yeah,
just
and ev
calls. No, go on.
no, 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 go ahead. No, no.
So
I finished my
obviously,
thought. I'm good.
obviously, the everybody wants eyes on them. Meaning, most people these days get famous for the sake of being famous. Like they want to be well known. Whereas
Mhm.
he's saying, "I'm not bothered about any of that shit. I just want to hear you
Nope.
sing along, and then I know that you're enjoying the art that I'm creating as well." And I do really like that vulnerability. This literally is a top
Me
song.
too.
It's such a well. It's probably one of the most kindest FUs I've ever heard in my life.
It
You
really
know what I
is.
mean?
This is a big
It's
F you. It
so
really
well
is.
put together. Yeah, another bit from the earlier part is when he says, obviously we have to talk about the people shouting his real name at the concerts. That literally is not all right, and if you do that, you are a complete dick.
No, that is not
That
okay.
is
And
not
that's what I was
okay.
reading yeah, I even had people because I was on Genius a lot and I was
Oh
looking
yeah.
through the lyrics and like I said, I can't put everything on
Mm,
here and I have my own,
yeah, yeah.
thoughts about it. But that was one of them is doxing someone is not okay.
No, no.
This is not okay what you guys are doing. And
Mm,
I saw so many likes on that comment.
yeah.
And I was like, yeah, because it's not cool. Like
No,
you don't do
no.
this to people. They literally ask for privacy and you
Mm-hmm.
you step that boundary
Yeah, yeah.
and that's not okay.
No.
Like it's cool because you guys like whoever's listening to this, you know my name.
Mm,
My name is Keith. I am from Florida. I
yeah.
have given you that information,
Mm,
but don't go doxing everything else about
yeah,
my
yeah.
life.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
you know my name. You know I love music. You know I love cash and love my games. You find out so much about me,
Yeah, yeah.
but
But it's your
once
choice
you
to
cross that
share that.
line,
Yeah,
it's my
that's
choice
the
to share
difference.
that. Anything else that I don't share, don't bring up to me.
Yeah, yeah,
That's not like, how do you know this information? I don't like that you know this information about me
yeah, yeah.
because that gives me it's not really I get insecure about it. It's more of I get anxiety that someone
Mm,
knows something that they shouldn't be knowing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I can feel that in this song
Mm,
because he's afraid to answer his own front door.
yeah.
And I was like, man, that
That
has got to be so anxiety inducing.
I mean, we shouldn't even have to say that nobody should be made to feel like that because it's so fucking obvious.
Exactly.
But
No matter if you're famous or
nobody should
not,
be made to
like this
feel like
should
that. Yeah, exactly.
nobody.
Um, yeah,
And I
it's
like that.
just so sad.
It goes on, yeah, and it says, so after the lines that I was talking about, too blessed to be caught, I'm grateful,
Mm,
I know. So he goes, so I'll keep dancing along to the rhythm. The
yeah.
stage is a prison, a beautiful nightmare. I
Mm,
just like because he loves being on the stage, but it's a nightmare at the same time because people are doxing his name.
yeah, yeah.
Like while they're at the stage, and that is not
Mm,
okay.
yeah.
I will say that over and over. Go fuck yourself with a fucking cactus or something. I don't care. No lube, no nothing. Go and dry. I am tired of people doing this to him. He is just trying to live his life like everyone else on this earth.
Exactly.
And what's the one thing I say at the end of every video? Be good to each other.
Yeah.
You are not being good to each other,
Mm,
and you have no respect for me once you break that rule for me.
yeah.
That's all I
Exactly.
got about this song. This song really pissed me off, and it was a great
Mm,
song though.
it is.
Like,
Yeah. No.
but this song pissed me off for
As
Vessel.
general sleep token is such a harsh message behind it, but just sort of on the outskirts of it all, just such a wonderful song. Like the little melody is awesome as well. Like the starting, that starting little like music box thing or whatever you call them, like with the
Yep, that
little
was
thing that
really cool. I did like
I
that.
really like that part. Obviously, the breakdown is awesome in it as well, and like they're screaming from four in this as well. The in these days of days, which again, that part actually, I just mentioned that towards the end. So you get the screaming part where he screams in these days of days, and then it kind of switches up
Oh yeah,
immediately
like
when he
where's
says,
the
"Tell me,
I
did I
got
give
you.
you what you came for?"
You
And
want yeah.
whilst I was listening to that today, it kind of struck me as in that itself could be a call out to fans labeling, oh, like these guys are not metal and all that kind of thing. Like, just on that, they never ever said they were metal. That's the main part here. Sleep Token have never said we are a heavy metal band. Like they've never said anything. So
That we are just a
people are
band.
just giving them, people are just labeling them in genres that they think they are. Like the band themselves have never said we are this. It's another thing that pisses me off when people are just commenting online everywhere saying, "Oh, worst band in metal. This is pop metal." No one's ever said they are that. They are literally Sleep Token. That is their genre. But that's just kind of my bugbear about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the end of this where he says, "In these days of days," and it's kind of like a screamy part, and then Vessel switches it
Mhm.
straight back up again and says, "Tell me, did I give you what you came for? If you're only here to listen to loud screaming metal, then go elsewhere. Did I give you what you came for? Did you
You're not
like
gonna
that?
get that
Did
here.
you like that part where I just screamed? Yeah, is that all okay? Okay, then you like us. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of like saying, if that's all you're here for, not the
And then he says,
overall
"I wish it
message."
all away." It's
Mm,
like I would wish this all away
yeah,
just so
yeah,
I can have peace, but I'm not gonna have peace anymore.
yeah, yeah,
And then he says, and I thought things had changed, and then like when he's screaming that part, he says, "Missing my wings in the realm of angels."
yeah.
I love that line too,
Mm,
man. He because he technically is like it's in some people's eyes, he is like an angel. He's got an
mm,
angelic voice. He knows what
yeah,
he's
yeah,
doing when he's writing, and he's missing his wings now because people want to do this shit to him.
yeah.
And you know what? I know Vessel will probably never hear this, but I respect the shit out of him,
Oh, yeah,
and I really respect what he's doing and what he stands for.
yeah, yeah.
And Vessel, like, if you need a hug, man, I got you. I'll give you a hug any fucking day. I'll give you a hug. I got you.
It's funny you mentioned the wings part, by the way, because they do like the fact of just angels and wings do get mentioned quite a lot, but specifically in this song,
Hmm.
when he says "missing my wings in a realm of angels," it again kind of calls
Hmm.
back to the fact that he's been chasing this for so long, getting higher and higher and higher. That to me, Arcadia seems like he's finally arrived at heaven.
We'll get there. We'll get there in
Eden
the next song.
Eden was where he was, and he's now ascended into the next part of it. But he's saying, "Well, now I'm here in this realm of angels, like, and I don't have my
And I don't
wings."
have my wings.
And it's almost like, for what? What for? What basically? Yeah, but I'm happy to go on to the next
But
song.
we're gonna get there in
We
the
love that.
next song. Yep.
Yeah.
Even in Arcadia, the
Oh
song for
no.
the album.
Yes.
Okay. So this one, so Arcadia is actually a real place in mythology. So
A real
Arcadia
place in
is a
mythology.
paradise in mythology. Yeah, in mythology. It's like a utopia. I know that
You
was
know what I'm laughing at. You
a
know
very
what I'm laughing at. You know.
oxymoronic. I know. You know that that's like a very
I, I
oxymoronic
know what you
way to
mean.
say that,
Yeah, I know what
right?
you mean. I get it.
So in Greek myths, it's a utopian realm, but it's an unattainable ideal place to live.
Yeah.
And this is the song where I think that Vessel has ascended.
Mm,
This is the song where I think that he has finally ascended
yeah.
to what he wants to be.
Hmm.
And then he's talking, I feel like he's talking either to the fans or he's talking to Sleep. I'm not really sure where that lines are being like drawn. Let
Yeah.
me do that. So, but the lines at the very end, have you been waiting long for me?
Mm.
Like he's talking to someone that maybe he has known in the past relationship or something,
Yeah.
or is like, I hope that you haven't been waiting long for me because
Mm.
I'm finally here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like that. And I love the Arcane video that you sent me earlier because
Ah,
it was for this
I know you'd
song.
love that. Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, I am the final dawn, I am the flood.
Mm-hmm.
That was I was like, did he just send me this? Like, but it fits,
Yeah, no,
you
it does.
know?
Great.
But I love this one where, because I've paid my penance kindly well in time for judgment day. Somehow I knew my fate. Turns out the gods we thought were dying were just sharpening their
I love
blades.
that
Like
line.
he thought that these
One of my
gods were,
fave
I
lines.
love that line too.
Mm.
Because it's like, oh, you thought these gods were dead? No, they're just getting ready for
Yeah,
war.
they're
And this
just
is
getting
what
started. Yeah.
they're just getting started.
Yeah.
And like there's so many different other ones like and what was missing from those scriptures will be written in my blood. I just bro, he's
Goosebumps.
hard with his lyrics,
Literal
man.
goosebumps.
For real.
Yeah.
What good is all this talk of wings when there is nothing left above? Like there's nothing
That's
left
the
above
line.
Arcadia.
Yeah.
There's nothing here.
He's ascended.
Like
And for what?
I have ascended to the for what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm finally here. I hope. And then he goes, "Have you been waiting long for me?" He's like,
Mm.
"For me," like a question. He's like, "For me?"
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Have you been waiting long?"
Yeah.
I just, the song is so good to
I
a
take
point
the
to
have you
where,
been waiting long for me as in him maybe asking that to a god. I don't know which one. But the fact that he's ascended to this point, have you been waiting long for me? Like you've seen what I've been doing. You know that I
yeah,
was going
yeah.
to get here, but have you actually been waiting long for me to get here? That's kind of how I see this.
The reason why I don't think that is for the next couple lines here. It says, no matter how we feel, we've got a taste for one another and a few good years to kill.
Hmm.
I think that because I don't think that he says and it even says it seems like even in Arcadia you walk beside me still.
Yeah.
So I think that he's talking maybe about a past relationship that didn't work, and he really liked this person, he really cared about this person,
Yeah.
and he felt like they were already in godhood, basically waiting for him here. And now
Okay.
that he's ascended here, he's like, for what?
Hmm.
Like, why
I
am I
get that.
here? There's nowhere else to go. There's no higher.
Yeah.
And now these gods here are just wanting to wage war on me.
Mm.
And now everyone's wanting that. And like I think that the title of this album and the title of this song go so well together
Yeah.
because this is a utopian empire that has fallen because there's
Yeah.
no such thing as a grand utopia.
Mm.
Something has to give.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was the song that broke the camel's back, bro. This was like definitely the one that I think that
Okay.
once it reached this song, everything after this song, um, besides Provider,
Yeah.
the last three songs of this album really like bring that message, and I'll
Hmm.
explain why after Provider.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I already can kind of see where you're going with that. My only actual, I mean, I absolutely love this song. It's so good. My only criticism is that it is nowhere near long enough than I want it to be.
Yeah, I was. This song
It
probably could have
it
went on like
left
another
me
verse or
wanting
so.
so much more, and I've
Yeah,
part of me
yeah,
feels
no, I
like
get
it's
that.
meant to be like that, and that like you've said, this utopian like paradise that's not really achievable, and it kind of left
It's
me
not meant to last.
feeling, yeah, exactly. It kind of gave me that feeling. So yeah, but this for me is a fantastic song. This is like pure sleep token, I think. That's pretty much all
Yeah,
I've
no,
got to
I
say
really
about that.
do, and I did enjoy the song. It wasn't my favorite on the album, but I
Mm.
definitely did enjoy this song.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go on to Provider. I have really nothing to say about this one. I did not like this song.
Really?
I did not like this because so for me, this is a very sexually charged song.
Correct. Yes.
This is a very baby making music song,
Of course.
and this is Mana Bear's favorite song,
Oh,
and
really?
I wonder why. Because this song, hold on, I got a story about this one. This song is on every Book Talk Girls TikTok page Instagram feed, if they are
Yeah.
on Book Talk, this song is being used right now.
Mm.
And I don't even want to go over this song because this song is just gross. This song is gross, bro. I read
Gross.
about this song and I got about halfway doing my research through half of the lyrics, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to talk about this one anymore. I'm good. Like, yes, he wants to be a provider by bending her over, but he doesn't want to just bend the rule. Like, bro, I don't. This is not 50 Shades of Sleep token. I don't
It
want
actually
this.
is.
Like,
It is. Sorry to tell you, but it is.
yeah, and I was like, I don't feel comfortable with that. Like, I get that
Yeah.
it's like this is the song on the album that the girls love.
Mm.
This is going to be the song that the girls are going to go after.
Yeah.
And it's just not really my deal. Look, Vessel, you're probably a handsome man underneath the mask. You got a good voice. I'm just not that way for you, bro.
Not
I'm
into it.
sorry.
That's
Look, I'll
fine.
give you a hug, but I'm not going any further than
That's
that.
all you're giving him.
That's all I'm giving him.
I mean,
That's all I'm giving him.
that's fair. I mean, for me,
That's fair, right?
while this clearly is like such a sexual song, yes, I have to say, possibly, like maybe unpopular opinion, but the fact that quite a lot of these songs have been aimed at toxic fans, you know, like saying just kind of, you know, don't give me the shit and like stop like going over and above like what you should be doing. You should be just enjoying the music and then kind of just leaving it there, like don't get obsessive and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then I think releasing a song like this, like, is it? I don't know. Is it just me? Is it kind of a little
Weird,
bit?
right?
I don't
It's
know.
weird.
It's like, don't get me wrong.
This,
I do
this is
enjoy the song. I like it musically, and again, the
oh,
lyrics
cut
fit
out there.
well.
Hold on. Cut out. Hold on. Try go back a little
Go
bit
back
to
a
where you
step.
said I did enjoy the song because it looks like yeah. Go back
I have noticed
and go.
your camera has been pixeling for me as well.
It's on you, bro. I'm fine.
Well,
It's fine for me.
my CPU's at like 1.3.
My CPU
Is
is
it
like
Discord?
at like 10%, bro.
Is it
It
like?
might be just Discord.
I think it is.
Yeah, because if I go to Task Manager, it's
Okay.
just yeah. I'm at 12%, bro.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
no
I'm
way.
very low, so yeah, I think it must be fucking
Yeah,
Discord. But anyway, right? Okay, I'll just jump back a
yeah.
step.
It's Discord. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, don't get me wrong. I do like the song. Like I like it musically, and I also enjoy like how the lyrics are kind of set out. But I don't know. There's just something that says like to me in this, and I say maybe an unpopular opinion, but you kind of telling fans to just sort of like chill and just enjoy the music. But then on the other hand, you're writing a song like this, which is completely sexually charged, and like you've said, has already gone
So
to
charged.
book talk, and like I mean, I'll be honest, I don't even really know what that is. I can make what it is in my head, but it's kind of
It's
I don't
about smut
know.
books.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's
So
about smut books. That's all. Yeah, it's about the sexual books.
it's kind of like
That's
saying,
what book talk is.
right, okay, yeah, I kind of got that vibe. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like saying, don't do this on one hand, but then on the other saying, but look how horny I can make you. It kind of don't make that much sense
It
to me.
doesn't make sense. Why this was this is my criticism for the album
Yeah.
is that I don't think you could have made a 9 song, 10 song album without this song on it.
Mm, do
You
you
could
know
have
what,
this
actually?
song could have just been left out.
Part of me has wondered if this song was not written for this album, if this was kind of like, I don't know, in the
An
archives, let's
extra
just say.
song.
No, like in the archives from years ago
Yeah. It was
or many years ago. I don't know, you know? It kind of, to me, doesn't fit what the album's message is, if that makes sense. But like I've said, I do
there's no
like
message to
parts
it.
of it. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just a bit kind of randomly in
Yeah,
there.
this
But
was the one that I was like,
hmm,
doesn't fit the album. This throws off the pacing of the album so much, and you're getting so close to the end of the album.
hmm,
Now, if this one was like number 2, number 3, fine, cool. I think that you could have switched like this song up further to just been like, just get the song over
I
with,
don't know. I kind of
and
disagree. I
earlier
feel
in the
like the
album,
whole message behind the
really.
song does not fit the whole
I
message of the
know. I
album.
personally agree
Do you
that
know what I mean?
I personally agree that if you took this song out, this album would still be fire.
Yeah.
You know, this song, this whole album would be great.
Yeah.
This is the song that I just did not like, and it's just not my vibe.
Mm,
Like the other songs, fine, but this one was not my vibe at all. I
yeah.
did not
Okay.
really vibe with this song at all. I totally skipped this one.
Mm.
Like I was like, gross. I'm good, thanks.
Okay, moving on then.
Moving
From that.
on. So I got some facts about this one.
Okay.
Um,
Interested.
so Damocles, is that how you say it?
Mm.
Damocles?
Damocles, yeah.
Damocles. So this song is about constant danger. So
Mm.
this song is so the this is another Greek. This is why I thought this was this whole Greek thing
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, right? I
Yeah.
thought that it was like the Divine Comedy or something, you
Mm.
know, Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
That's why I was getting all those vibes. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many Greek themes here.
Yeah.
So fun story about this one. And Greek mythologies, this guy was a real person, and he was like, I want to be king. I
Mm.
want to be the ruler of everything. I want to rule my own land. And his patron god, who was Dionysus, the god of fertility and festivals and wine,
Yeah.
he says, "Sure, I can give that to you, but it's going to come at a cost."
Mm.
And then the cost was he would always have a sword hanging above his head
Yes.
for the rest of his life.
Is it by a
And he
single
was
hair? Have I got that part
but it
right?
was a single hair. It
Yeah.
would never touch him,
Mm.
but you would have that constant fear of what a king would have to go through
Yeah.
over and over. And he said even after a day of it happening, he's like, I can't do this anymore.
Mm.
Please take it away. I can't do it. And
Yeah.
that's where the sword of Damocles comes in.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people use that as a metaphor. There's always this constant danger
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um, I have more notes, but that was kind of like the opening
Mm.
story that I had for that one.
Yeah.
Um, I like it where he says, it's hard to be perfect. You can't win every time. That's kind of like how
Mm.
I felt about this song too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just can't be perfect all the time. You're always trying to
Mm.
like the closer you get to perfection, the closer you get to ruin.
Yeah.
That's how I feel it. Because you can never be perfect at everything. I know you want to be,
Yeah.
and your mind
Everybody
wants
wants
you
to
to
be.
do this,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna everybody wants to be perfect, but it's not worth it, man.
Mm.
It's like you're always gonna have that sword hanging above your head,
Yeah.
and something's gonna happen, something's gonna give. So I did really like this song had a really great rhythm. I
Yes.
did write the music for this one. I did really like the rhythm of this song.
Yeah.
I felt like it was well paced. It was like a little bit slow in the first, and then it picked up, and the chorus kicked in. This was, you know how you're like, I wish I had more of this song in
Mm.
the Arcadia song.
Yeah.
I wish that was this
Is
for
that for
this
you?
one.
Yeah.
I wish this one went on a little bit longer. I wish this was like a 7 minute song
Yeah.
because the song was good.
Mm.
And then there
Perfect.
was um always is this, what if the best days have already happened? You
Mm.
know, what if our best days have already passed us?
Yeah.
What do we do from here if that is the case?
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I get from this song, and I really love that. And then right here it says, "What if I can't get up and stand tall? What if I get what is it? Oh, what if the diamond days are all gone, and who will I and will I what? Oh my God, man, I'm
Start
just
again.
my handwriting is so bad, bro. My handwriting is so bad. But it's we'll start over, right?
Okay.
And uh, it says, what if I can't get up and stand tall? What if the diamond days are all gone? And who will I be when the empire falls? Wake up alone and I'll be forgotten. I love those lines.
Strong.
Those lines are
Strong
so good.
lyrics.
Strong. This all the lines in here are
Vulnerable.
just so good.
Yeah.
This is a very vulnerable song, and I actually wrote that down. Very
Mm.
vulnerable for him
Yeah.
to write something like this. And it says, like he says, when what is silent to you feels like it's screaming to me.
Mm.
And I always tell people the silence is deafening.
Yeah.
When I tell people that all the time, he says, "Your silence speaks so much louder than you would ever think."
Yeah.
When someone's fighting or say, like, say you're in a relationship
Mm.
and there's silence between you and you know why there's silence because you guys are fighting, that silence screams
So
so much
loud.
louder in your head
Yeah.
than anything else because there's no conversations, there's no
Mm.
like the diamond days are gone now because y'all had this fight and now y'all
Yeah. Yeah.
don't want to work it out. Now the silence is just going to scream at you even more.
Mm.
And so this song was good. I did really enjoy this song very much.
Yeah.
This one was kind of on repeat for me.
Mm.
I did go back to this one because I really like the rhythm of the song,
Yeah, it's great, isn't
and
it? Great
definitely
guitar work
the
as well.
yeah. Oh yeah, man, and I think that 2 had really good drums in here in this one,
Well,
very clean.
oh
I
man,
did enjoy that.
shout out for two on the whole album
Shout out to
wide.
2, man.
Literally,
Yeah,
some
and
of
that
I
was
think all
another
if not
thing
the
that I
best
did.
work from him.
That was one of the things that did bother me about the album was that he didn't get to show off as much as I think that he should have, because it was kind of like a slower-ish album.
All right,
So I
okay,
felt
yeah.
like 2 didn't really get to show off as much as he's praised for.
I don't know.
I felt like he was underutilized in this album.
Really, that is an interesting
I
take.
Yes, that's the way that I
I
feel. Yeah,
literally feel like
yeah. I
this is
felt
some
like
of
this
his
was more of
best
a
work.
vessel album than a 2 album. No, and that's fine. It is his best work when he plays. But I'm saying that he didn't really get like the recognition that he really should have on his album. Like more parts
Yeah,
should
yeah,
have
yeah,
been more towards him
yeah.
in the album. Yeah, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad album or anything. I'm saying like when he
Should have had
plays,
more
it is
parts.
gold. It
Yeah.
is wonderful. He should have had more parts in the album, I think, for
Okay.
sure.
Interesting call.
What did you think about this song, man?
Yeah, this has definitely been like a grower for me. When I first heard it, I don't know, not that it didn't click, but I think because we'd already had Caramel and that was like fully on repeat for me. The fact that this came out and I
Oh
just
yeah,
couldn't get like in it because I was just so into Caramel. So this took a little bit of a while for me, but it did eventually. And again, like I said before, it it kind of like sits really well within the overall album. I like where it is, and like you said, like when it's coming up to those last few songs, it's just absolute awesome. So I really like kind of where it sits, and I really like the message once again breaking that like fourth wall, and it's like the man behind the mask type of situation where
mhm.
it's not actually Vessel, it's the guy behind there. Some of my favorite lyrics, the part where he says, um, when I know I should be touring, I know these chords are boring, but I can't always be
Yeah,
killing
right
the
here.
game. I
Yeah,
love that part. He's kind. I feel like that's a
like I
little
say, he's
bit.
looking for perfection.
Yeah, but
He's like, I
I feel
can,
like there's an
make these
element of
perfect
like
songs.
tongue in cheek and like sarcasm to this. I think he's kind
A
of
little
like
bit. I can see that.
having a little bit of a joke, like saying, "Yeah, I know I should be out touring, but I'm tired, and I know these chords are boring." When he knows that they aren't boring, but he's like, again, like we mentioned before, all the people like, oh, these are not metal. Like, what is this? What are these chords? I feel like it's a little bit of a dig back to them, like saying, yeah, you're all right. Okay, then I won't. I can't always be making absolutely breathtaking music, killing every boundary each time. So I like that. Um,
Another. So moving on to the next song, if that's all you got for that one,
no, that's not all I've got.
or do you got
Hold your
more
horses,
for it?
please. Thank you.
You got more?
Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm
Uh,
so sorry. I am
Sit your
so
ass
sorry.
down.
Please
I'm
continue.
talking about my favorite
Please
band.
continue. I am so sorry. I I'm just gonna leave the room. I'm just gonna leave the room. It's your podcast now. You got it, buddy. You got it.
Finally. Sheesh. Now, where were we?
Go ahead, man.
Oh, that was funny. Sorry. No, what I was going to say is I like the fact that when he says until the tape runs out on me, and you got the little flicker of the clicking of the cassette tape going back on the other side of the Walkman. That's a really cool like callback.
Yeah,
We love that. We love the nostalgia in that. But yeah, like the
we
kind
really
of
do.
the self realization part when he says when the river runs dry and the curtain is called. So obviously when everything's kind of over and done. How will I know if I can't see the bottom? Come up for air and choke on it all. No one else knows that I've got a problem, and it's that like introspective thing of him saying, "While this is all like amazing as it is right now, we're playing good shows, we're writing good music and everything, but literally when all this comes to an end, then what? like he's vulnerable again, saying, "I'm kind of scared because I don't know where it's going to go from there, and I don't know who I'm going to be as a person." And it's just like so. I find this. I find the second half of this song so heartbreaking, like genuinely, when he's kind of like worrying about, he's saying it all looks like heaven, but it feels like hell, and like you've said, what if the
And
diamond
also,
days are all gone, and
and
when the empire falls, I'll wake up
well,
alone and I'll
because
be forgotten. Like, no one's ever
yep.
forgetting who you are, bro. Please don't talk like that.
But like I was going to piggyback on when you were talking about, well, I know I should be touring, but I know these chords are boring.
Mm,
My thought about that one is that there's just this the most used chord progression in
mm,
songs.
yeah,
And I think that maybe he's using those chords,
that would be good
and I
at
think
this
that that's
part.
kind of like
Yeah,
what I think that would be really he's using those chords
yeah.
on those
Oh
lines.
man, that would
And I
be
was like,
so
"Oh, that
smart.
makes so much more sense."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that would be so cool if he was actually doing it because I can't remember what it. I think it
I
was
think I know what you
GCAD or
mean. That
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Is like, but it's
Like
those
the
four
most
chord
pop. Yeah,
progressions,
yeah.
the most popular one,
Mm,
and because you can go, there's so many different songs that use that chord progression. That's what I was getting from
that would
that
be
one.
so good if that's the case at that
Wouldn't that
point
be
in the
cool?
song. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, that's all I've got now. Now we can move on.
All right. Okay. Okay.
I want to hear you
So,
pronounce
so we
this.
can move on now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll allow that.
Gethsemane.
Who?
Gethsemane.
Mm.
Gethsemane.
Someone's been doing their research.
I've been doing my research. I did enjoy this song actually. This song was actually really fun to listen to. But the song's
Yeah,
about a broken relationship. Song is, but
again.
it's really groovy though.
Yeah,
This
it
has
is.
such a groove in it, man. I really drums are super clean. I give to the
Yeah,
most credit on this
they're
song.
awesome in this. Yeah,
On this song, this is I give him the most credit for this one.
yeah, these
You
are
want to talk about like,
crisp.
how clean, crisp, baby.
Crisp. Yeah,
Like talking extra crisp, like
yeah.
an extra bag of
Extra crispy.
full bag, extra crispy. This song was also about like maybe like something like you're emotionally blindfolded to the person.
Yeah,
Like there's like you can't see like the red flags being happening for the most part. You can't see anything that's going on.
yeah.
And then and I love how the song picks up in tempo. I
Mm,
see this is where I started like hearing the music too.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like starting to like really get into the groove of it. And it picks up over time. I really did like that.
Mm,
And I really love this line. This was the one line. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Do, 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 do. I'll read it, but because I have it written down.
yeah, okay.
Oh, came in like a dream, put it down like a smoke.
Hmm.
I love that line.
I
So
literally
what?
heard that line today and was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Ready? This is what I think about it.
Okay.
It says can't shake the feeling of the relationship even while acting like it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
Like so you came in like a dream. You was like, I dreamt of you,
Mm,
and now I'm gone at like a puff from a cigarette.
yeah.
I'm just gone.
Mm,
Like it was fleeting the whole time.
yeah.
Like I treated this as it was gold, and this was going to be the
Mm,
relationship that's going to end all relationships for me.
yeah.
And now it's busted. It's gone
Mm,
in a puff of a smoke.
yeah.
And this was the song that I said, "Who hurt you, bro?"
Ah, okay.
Like, this was like, it's like, do you need a hug? Like
Yeah.
this is the song that I
Another
want to
one.
go up the vessel and I'd be like, I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah.
Another one, yeah, right. And I said, want to give a big hug for this song. Very vulnerable.
Mm,
This is a very vulnerable song for him,
yeah.
and I really absolutely love him for this,
Mm,
for being so vulnerable in all these albums that I've listened to over these years.
yeah.
um of of listening to it with you,
Mm,
and then and then listening to this is the first album I have listened to since we went over the three albums. I haven't touched Token at all,
okay.
really. I would put it
Yeah,
on
yeah.
every now and then,
Mm,
because I wasn't into the band like you were in the
yeah, yeah.
band. But for me, when it came to this, I can start seeing why people really love this band,
Mm.
and I'm
Good.
on board. I'm not saying I'm fully on board where like I feel like my feet are in the water
Yeah,
right now.
I was
And I feel
literally just
like
gonna
I'm
say,
just
are you off the sand
yeah,
with your toes in the water at least?
I'm off the sand.
Okay.
I'm not looking at it anymore.
Yeah.
I am standing in it now.
Okay. I like
And
that.
that's kind of where I'm getting to. I really like the vulnerability in these
Yeah,
songs.
yeah, that
And I
is.
even went back to like the Eden album
Mm,
to listen to a few songs. Like I went back to Vor. Vor is still one of my favorite
I
songs.
know you like
I
that
went
one.
back to that. I fucking love that song, man. And then I came back to here, and then I gets to this song. This was the song that made me cry. This
Mm,
was the one. This one and the song before. They were back to back crying
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Like that's because you feel the vulnerability. You feel like you have lived this through
Yeah,
him
yeah. Yeah.
because that's just how good he is at writing.
Mm,
And I really absolutely love this for him.
yeah.
And I was like, and this was like I said, Vessel will never hear this, but I will give you a hug for both of these songs. I
He doesn't want
will
that.
we'll
He
cry
just
it
wants you
out
to enjoy
together.
his music. He's not bothered for that.
Look, man, just give me a hug. That's all I want. I just want a hug.
What about a sort of
Just give me a hug. God damn it.
handshake from afar?
Handshake is not enough. I'm a hugger. Give me my hug.
That's fair. Uh, any
But
more
yeah,
thoughts?
I really did this one. But what did you think of it? Yeah. I'm done with my thoughts for
Yeah.
this one now. Go ahead.
So this for me kind of took me by surprise a little bit because of how different it actually sounded. You know, with that like opening guitar part. Well, I guess it's like in the sort of
Sure.
second
Yeah,
part of the song, but
go back and do that again because it had a
oh,
spike.
okay,
Just like 5 seconds.
yeah. So for me, this song took me by
There you go.
surprise because the sort of opening, that first time you hear the guitar part, reminded me a lot of like Bill Murray, and sort of
Really?
yeah, it really took me by surprise
I
because I
get
thought,
that. Nope, I get it. No, I
yeah,
get that.
and I thought this is not what sleep tokens sound like. It's kind of completely different. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
does.
what is Sleep Token supposed to sound like though?
No, I know, but like I get, yeah, okay, I fully understand what I've said there, but it was like new sound unlocked. That's kind of how I felt. I was like, well, I've not heard
Oh, gotcha.
anything like
Okay.
this ever. I've not even heard similar of this. So
I gotcha. I
that
feel that.
definitely took me by surprise, but a very enjoyable surprise, I have to say. And like you've got the lyrics on screen there, that heartbreaking part where he says, "Do you want to hurt me? Do you want to hurt me? Because
Yeah.
nobody hurts me better." That is heartbreaking, man. That again,
Mm.
the whole vulnerability, the fact that he's like thought about it and actually written that down is just so awful. And it does
The one
definitely,
that got me.
yeah.
So continue your thought, but I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So yeah, the fact that he's like had to write that down is just an absolute killer. Um I've actually forgotten what I was gonna go on to next, so just jump in and I'll try and remember.
So me, the part that got me was your cigarette ash still clinging to my clothes.
Mm,
I don't want to stick around. I just want to let you know
mm.
that shit.
Not the line
That shit
before.
hit
I
me in
thought you
my
were about to say the line
soul,
before that.
man. Yeah, we used to be a team. Now we let
Or
each
the
other
one
go.
before
Yeah,
that.
your cigarette ash is clean. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, because that was just that part. Because I've already talked about that part.
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, sorry.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want,
there used to be a
yeah.
team, now
Because
let each other go.
I
That's
already
the
talked
line
about
I
that.
meant. Sorry.
Now
Yeah.
it's like we used to be a team. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was getting at. I was like, man, like because ash is very hard to get out of clothes for
Mm.
the most
Stink
part.
forever, yeah.
So if someone's ash, and it's just with you forever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it was like the vulnerability of this song was just, and it says, call out my name, like, please just let me go.
Yeah.
Like, bro, this is such a heartbreaking song. This is nothing like the Damocles song.
No.
This is on a whole
This
different
is
level
literally
of
heartbreaking.
breakup song, bro. This is the breakup song of all breakup songs right here.
Yeah.
That's what this one is.
Which actually, that is my point that I was thinking of. So it does read like a kind of toxic relationship that he's had in the past. But then again, every time I thought
Mhm.
of myself saying this sounds like a toxic relationship, I was like, is it the relationship between him and the fans again? Because that is also a toxic
I don't
relationship
think
at
so.
times.
Because he's talking about
Kind of.
one person, I think.
Yeah, it does sound like it, but then again, maybe it's, I don't know. Like I say, it is open to interpretation, and it's like kind of what do you hear, what do you read? But I get that it does sound that, but what the fact of him saying, "Do you want to hurt me? Because nobody hurts me better." That could be the fan base. We used to be a team. Now we let each other go. Again, could be multiple people, but the final part, which again is heartbreaking, when he says, "Because you talk about your constant pain like I ain't got none." That again is a heart killer. You kind of
I
there
love it,
talking about
man.
all yourself, being all about that, but you saying it like I don't have any of this as well, when clearly I do. You're talking about it like I don't have any. It is so sad,
It is,
but so
but
funky.
moving. It is a very funky. Like, for such a sad song, is a funky beat.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that.
Mm,
But that's all I got for this one, man. Just
okay. On to Infinite
if you
Baths
ever
we
need a
go.
hug vessel, I got you, man. I got you. All right, to Infinite Baths. This
Where do we
this was
start
an
with this?
interesting song for me. I mean,
Do we start with the
I'm gonna
callback?
actually start.
The immediate callback?
We'll get there, but I want to because do you know what a staccato is?
I think I googled that today.
So
That's another
it's
splitting
like
thing, is it?
detached notes in a musical piece.
Mm, yeah,
So it's a musical thing.
yeah.
Um, I love how he used because everything is fragmented,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's if you break down this song, there are fragmented beats in this song,
Yeah.
and it's so cool that he uses that word
Mm,
and then he uses it in the song, which
yeah.
I think is so cool. Which is why I think when he was talking about I'm just using these chords,
Yeah, yeah.
like in the like because it's
Mm-hmm.
boring. That's what brings me coming back to
Like to
this
think
song.
that, yeah.
That's why I think that it says it. Yeah, I like to think that.
Mm,
For this one, the song I feel is like a healer for like traumas that you've gone through in your life.
yeah.
I think that I also love the tempo of the song. This is almost an
Mm,
8.5 minute song,
yeah.
which is wild for me. I never thought I would love an 8.5 minute song like this, and it was good. Um, this is also like a call for connection with others through hard times.
Yeah.
I feel like, because we're all going through these infinite baskets. Will you come with me? Will you just be here with me
Mm,
during this moment? Because, we have these infinite moments in our lifetime
yeah.
that we'll have. And it's a very positive song and overall, great feeling and ender for an album, I think.
Yeah. I agree
What are your
fully with
thoughts,
that.
man?
Absolutely, fully agree with this is like the perfect ending.
And that's the end of my notes.
I
That's
mean, you know what?
the end of my notes.
Well, very well done. I am impressed by them.
Thanks, man.
Genuinely well
Appreciate
done
it.
on that.
Appreciate it.
So the little Easter egg on this song, obviously, is the opening notes, which is basically the same as Euclid and The Night Does Not Belong to God. Very similar in actual choice of
Mhm.
notes.
And
Um,
that was actually called back on the notes I was reading
yeah, yeah,
about it, and that was like a call back to it.
yeah. So obviously that in itself is amazing. Also, the fact that the kind of ending of towards the end of this song, when he's saying, "Will you halt this eclipse in me?" which loops straight back round to look to
Which
windward
just
again.
loose back.
Yeah.
Yep. hmm
So yeah, again, he's kind of
Which
stuck
I
in this
thought was really
cycle.
cool again.
Yeah, stuck in the cycle. You can't, once you get to the end of this, you just go right back to the start again and kind of go all the way through it. So
Which I thought was cool. And then they also did like the Teeth of God thing, which was in the Eden album, right? If I'm not mistaken. He actually
well,
used that line in that.
yeah. So the Teeth of
That was in
God is
Euclid?
also a like graphic novel, which was like only
I
available.
did not know that.
So they put up like it was
Tell me
from,
more.
I want to say it's from Sumerian Records, and they did a graphic novel
Okay.
like series or whatever called Teeth of God. I have to admit I didn't buy it it was far too expensive for me personally. I could not come. Like, yes, I've spent a shitload of money on Sleep Token before, but it was like a limited edition thing, and it was very expensive, and it was at a time where I didn't have any kind of spare money, so I didn't get it, which I do kind of regret a little bit. And like, no one's scanned it and stuck it online or anything that I'm aware of, so I have no idea what it is even about, but I know that it's something to do with Teeth of God. But that ending, holy shit. I know there's more
That
parts.
ending was brutal.
Yeah, that
That was a
really
brutal
was. You
ending,
telling me 2 does
bro. It
not
was
deserve
so
some sort of
heavy,
Grammy for that ending, man? Come on.
bro.
Oh,
We are
God.
not worthy, man. Fucking A. I
Absolutely
just
unreal.
absolutely like I give him so much credit for this album.
Yeah,
And
so good.
I get uh so who's the guitarist? That's three, right?
4. 4's a guitarist, 3's a bass.
Three's the bass. So four.
Yeah,
Gotta give it up
Ivy.
for four as well throughout this album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ivy, yeah. Gotta give it up to him because he was amazing in this song as well. Throughout the
Well,
whole album, he was great.
actually, though, hold on.
Well, oh, you
Yeah,
got something for me.
yeah, kind of, yeah. Which I kind of thought you knew, but maybe you didn't, or I'd not told you. Was that
No, I must have not picked up on it.
3 and 4 only play live shows. They're only touring members.
Really?
Yeah, so this album is Vessel on vocals, keyboards, guitar, and bass, and twos on drums. I think that's how it works. It's only credited to Vessel 1 and Vessel 2. So 3 and 4 are not in
That's
these.
so. Is that why I'm seeing only credits for them too?
Yeah, because they're not. They only tour. They're only touring
Wild.
members. Yeah. Mm.
That's cool. I didn't know that. Yeah,
And
that's
it's
very
that's the
interesting.
same for each
I
album
didn't.
as well. It's only ever been Vessel and 2 on every album so far. That's wild to think of as well, isn't
That's
it?
cool. I really like. That's so wild. I
Oh
love that
no,
though. That's a
absolutely
very interesting fact that I
crazy.
think I'm going to carry with me.
Yeah,
But I do like all the like the drift with me, all the glory you did not earn, every lesson you did not learn.
yeah,
You will drown in endless sea. This is this song was pure poetry. A great way
it
to end this
really
a
is.
whole wonderful
There's actually
album.
another lyric in
This
here
was
that you
just
just mentioned as well about the silence, because it says, even if
which
I'm on
one?
my own, when the silence is deafening, I could be stuck here all
Yeah,
alone when even my
he's
future is
calling back
threatening.
to other songs.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so well done, the fact that it does that.
I really love the callbacks, man. The
Mm.
callbacks to the older albums, to this
Like
album,
previous
and
songs,
he's
yeah.
calling back to every just so many of his different songs. I can't even name them all right
Yeah,
now.
no,
And
yeah.
there's even a line in here where he's mentioning sugar on the floor
Mm.
or something like that. There's a line in here where he's mentioned, I can't remember which one it is, but I know that that's mentioned in here,
Yeah.
and it's a callback to that song.
Mm.
And I was like, "Whoa, that's so wild, man!"
Yeah.
But he has such a way with words in this whole album. This song is probably one of my favorite closers on a whole album. I've like metal, rock, whatever genre you want to put this in.
Yeah.
I think that this is a great closer of a song,
Mm.
especially the way it ends is so brutal the way it ends.
Yeah, yeah.
And I am all here for that, man.
Mm.
That I had stank face with that whole ending. I was like, are they gonna end it with like a bang, like with a bang?
Yeah.
And they did. They did
Mm.
not disappoint.
Yeah.
It was an absolute I cherish this song a lot. I
Eargasm.
did repeat this song quite a
Yeah.
few times. It was definitely an eargasm for me. This was like an earworm that I needed, and
Mm.
it was a brain itch that my musical part of my brain wanted, and it got.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love this, man.
Oh man, I'm glad that you
Anything
brought
else
that.
for it, man?
Phew. I don't. I mean, it's emotionally draining enough, so I'm happy to leave it there. And yeah, any other questions
And to
anybody
be
may
continued,
have.
huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, it
And
does
the battle
seem.
continue. Hey, the battle continues, man.
Yeah,
Just with their Instagram posts that they have.
we should maybe share the
Because the
fact that
battle continues, so they're probably gonna, yeah, share that, yeah,
what
because it's
what is going to
they.
happen next. That's the thing.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. But I'm here for it, man.
How would
I'm
you
definitely
feel
here
about
for it,
how
and
would you feel about a second album? As in, like, this is actually a double album, this and another one. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't mind at all because if they do a double album and it sounds just as good as this one,
Yeah.
I'm happy to review it because this album it was different for me because I'm not the Sleep Token guy.
Mm.
I'm not that guy. I
Yeah.
am in a Day to Remember head always.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like Sleep Token a lot now.
Mm.
And, my first impressions was going into this, I was like, great, another fucking slog album to go through. And it actually turned out to be a really eye-opening experience for me for
Yeah.
not only the band, but the lore of the band and what, Vessel was going
Mm.
through his own heads and his own mind. And it kind of makes me think of what I'm going through mine as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that I would ever like shed a tear for a Sleep Token album, and
Mm.
here I am today,
And do you know
shedding
what?
a tear
It
to
goes
some of
back
these
to, like,
songs.
if I made you feel anything at all, then good. That's what I aim to do
I
or
did my
whatever.
job.
So yeah,
That was
exactly.
the AJR thing,
Yeah, yeah, it
like
was. And
if you
do you know,
felt
I always think
anything,
about that. I literally think about that quite a lot of times. I love that.
same.
Yeah. So
And but that's going to bring us to the end of the review for the album. So now we're going to move on to our solid and platinum choices for the album. I know this is going to be harder for you than it is going to be for me,
yeah.
but I'm going to say my solid choice, and then you're just going to have to guess my platinum choice.
Okay.
So my solid choice obviously is Caramel.
Mm,
Absolutely love that song, man.
yeah.
I mean, like, how can you not really love this song and the pace of this song? And how can you not just absolutely love oh, I forgot to mention one of my notes that I didn't write
Oh yeah.
down for Caramel. Vessel rap album win. Like that's kind of like, I want I want
Yes.
that album so bad.
I know.
Vessel rap album win. I'm
Yeah.
like, just name it. And I'll get it.
Yeah. Big
But
Vess.
that was my solid choice. Yeah, Big Vest, right? Big Vest, Little Vest,
Oh, Lil Vess. That would literally
or
be
a
so
or
hilarious.
a or a Little Sleep.
Yeah. Little
Little
sleep.
Sleep would
Little
be
sleepy.
great. I think
Little
that would
sleepy.
be good. Yeah. What would your solid choice be for this
Oh, man.
album,
Do you
man?
know what? I'm just gonna not think about it and just give you whatever genuinely comes into my head because I
Hold
do
on,
think
hold on.
go back.
Now do it.
I genuinely
Yep, go
don't
back.
even
Now do it.
think. I think I'm just gonna have to go with whatever's in my head right now because if you ask me next week or even tomorrow, I'd probably give you a different answer. So as of this moment,
Same.
right here, right now, I'm gonna say that my solid choice is for Infinite Baths.
Infinite Baths, huh?
Yeah.
What what was it about this one that made this your solid choice?
I think it was definitely a kind of coin flip between this one and Gethsemane, just because of how that funky guitar is, and I do really like that. But the fact that we've just talked about Infinite Baths is just like how you said it was just a perfect album ender, and how I said I really love the fact that it's got this like callback to the melody from Euclid, and then obviously back on to The Night Does Not Belong to God, and I just really like that callback. I love the message behind it, and I love that absolutely awesome ending. It'll probably change tomorrow, but as of right now in this moment, that's definitely the solid choice because I just love how it ends and just loops straight back to Look to Windward. So
Do
good.
you want to guess what my platinum choice is for this album?
I think it might be Infinite Baths.
It's not.
Is it not? All
That's
right,
close
okay.
though.
The
It's
way
not.
that the
It's
way
that
that you were
close.
talking about it, I would have gone with
I
it.
really do like that song though. That song is really good.
Is it
But that is not my
Damocles?
platinum choice. It is Damocles.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
okay.
definitely yeah.
Yeah,
I that song was like this for the past couple days. I've been having that song on a repeat,
it's
absolute
such a
repeat
good
for
song.
me.
Yeah.
It is one of my all-time favorite songs now,
Mm,
and I don't know if it's gonna beat Caramel because I've listened to Caramel so many different times
yeah.
already because it was released earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if it'll outbeat Caramel, but those two are my two favorite songs from this album. If I had to pick right now what your platinum choice would be for this one, knowing you,
Mm.
This is a hard one. This is definitely a hard one. If I go to just this album, I just
Especially
want
the
to
fact
like
that you are probably
see what I
thinking
can
it
get.
could be any of them.
It could be any of them,
Yeah.
but I'm actually thinking Emergence is your platinum choice for this one. No, am
Nah.
I close though?
No.
No, will it ever? It says that one will never be like a platinum choice for you.
No, I don't think so. No, it's a great song, but no.
No, I mean it's got to be Caramel, right?
No.
Really? Even in Arcadia?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
I think that
Oh
will be my
man,
number one for a very long time off this album. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
I I didn't. So the way that you were talking about the song, I
Mm.
guess I kind of like it makes a lot of sense now that you were
I literally
talking of the
told you
way
that
you were
it
talking. I was
left
like,
me
okay,
wanting so much more. Remember that?
oh, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah.
But the only two songs that like that I don't have liked on here are Even Arcadia and Dangerous.
I'm offended at
Those are
that.
really the only ones.
Absolutely offended at that.
I'm so sorry that I left two. You know what? Here, just to make you feel better. Here you
No,
go.
you don't have to do that
Just to
now
make you
just to
feel
make me feel
better.
better. No, I want you to like them because you like them.
No, I got you, man. No, I like the album because
I know. I'm
if
winding you
so
up.
I when on my first listen through here, I'm gonna let you know this. On my first listen through here, I gave this album like a 6.5 to 7. Like because it was just I didn't think the pacing was off.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a heavy critic to like a lot of new music that I listen to,
Yeah.
especially because I felt like I had the notion going into this not expecting much, and I didn't get a lot off the first album. But the more that
Okay.
because I kind of forced myself to listen to it more,
Yeah.
more and more and more, just to like kind of get the groove of it. And then
Mm.
when I started doing my research around Tuesday, Wednesday, I was doing my research for it and like looking up why these songs are this way.
Yeah.
It's definitely like an 8.5 for me right now.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
it's sitting pretty high up there for
I
me.
know what that means for you.
It's not quite an for yeah, for me it means it's pretty high, you know, like
Yeah.
that's that I just the only thing that bothered me was Provider. That was the only one song that on the album that kind of like lost points for it.
Yeah.
If anything else, this would be a 9 out of 10 album, but like I have to deduct something because I
Mm.
just didn't enjoy that song.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think that it
That's
should
fine.
be in there.
Mm.
I do like the album. The
Yeah.
pacing
Yeah.
album actually feels quite nice now that I've listened to it a few times.
Yeah.
But I know that you're probably going to give this album a 10 out of 10 anyways, because you are a sleep token anyways. So it is fine.
My
It is fine.
I've not chosen to rank this yet. I've chosen not to like
That's fine.
give
Yeah.
it because I do feel like I don't want to get all carried away and be like, oh, this is a 10. But knowing the fact that I gave Take Me Back to Eden almost a 10 instantly, I feel like that deserved a 10 immediately. I think this might
Oh
get
yeah,
there
for
like
sure.
eventually if I like give it a little bit of
This
time.
one's a grower.
But yeah, no, it absolutely is a grower. Yeah. Thinking back to how when I first listened to it as to hearing it like even just today, like it's just such a different album. So I just think in time it probably will get there, but I think I said to you, I need to let this marinate a little bit before I start thinking about ranking.
It's only been a week,
But it'll be
so
high. Yeah, it will be high.
I loved it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It was definitely an eye-opening experience, man.
Mm.
But that's gonna bring us to the end of the episode, man. What an
Oh
episode.
man.
I don't know how long
Thank
we've
you
been
for this.
recording
I
or
don't I
whatever, but
actually have
it's
no
you
idea.
know,
We're at 1 hour 35 at
probably a
the minute.
very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say a long time.
Yeah, we'll try
But
and
I
cut
feel
that
like
down.
it really needed it with all the stuff that, you know, there's even corners that we didn't even cover
Oh yeah,
today.
no.
There
Yeah.
are
There's all sorts.
there's so many different lines that we could have went over that we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this could have been like a whole nother episode just going lyric through lyric, you know, and
Yeah, yeah. And
picking out
all
what
that
we
by
think it
all that.
means.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's that doesn't seem genuine to me if we
Yeah.
did something like that.
Mm.
I feel like it's genuine for us just to talk about what we want to talk about during the song and what we feel is more important in the songs that
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
feel because it's our opinions. It's
Yeah.
like we're not here for, we're not like the like judge, jury, and
No,
executioner
no.
for these album reviews. So this
As
is
we've
just
said many
our opinion.
times,
So
yeah,
don't.
we just enjoy music. That's the only reason we like talking about it. We're not here to be a critic or to be any kind of reviewer, even though this kind of is an album review, but you know what I mean.
That is very true. All right,
Yeah.
man. Well, if you like us, go follow our beacons. We got all our links there. We got our Facebook and our emails and our YouTube page now. So
Yes.
this will be on our YouTube. Go check us out on there. Give us a follow. Give us a subscribe, comment.
Yeah.
If the feeling takes you, share it with someone that you think that might enjoy it.
Yeah.
But with that said, y'all guys have an ear-opening rest of the week. Go listen to the album. It's great. It'll
Mm.
grow on you. But also remember, be good to each other. Peace.